YouTube comments can be a little crazy sometimes. They can get a little wild. They can definitely be unpredictable. You never really know what you're gonna get, especially when you have a community as creative as I do. I mean, you guys are always commenting fun ideas or even stories about the Sims that live in my builds, which is exactly why I wanted to use YouTube comments to decide my build in The Sims 4 today. I made a post asking my community to comment any kind of room they want. They could use different themes, color schemes, objects, literally anything they wanted, and they could also include the exterior. And they came through. There are so many great ideas on here. I actually did this exact same thing a couple years ago, and we came up with some really cool, unique rooms in The Sims 4, so I am very excited to dive into these today. But before we get started today, this video is sponsored by Palia and Singularity 6, and I'm so excited because I have played this game quite a bit. If you haven't played Palia before, you're truly missing out because it is this cozy multiplayer community simulation game where you can play with your friends, explore a vibrant, beautiful new world. You can craft things in this game, so you can build your house, you can furnish it, you can befriend a whole bunch of unique characters in this game, you can cook, fish, and farm, all while discovering the mysteries of Palia. And there's some exciting Palia news going on right now. First of all, their new Elderwood expansion just released, and this brings a mysterious new adventure zone. You can explore this ancient, overgrown forest full of secrets, magical echo, and even aggressive yet adorable new creatures. There are new story quests, a new equipment system. There are hours of exploration, customization, and adventure to be had with you and your friends. And the second update, Palia is now available on PS5 and Xbox Series SX. Palia is free to play, so you can download it now on PC, Nintendo Switch, PS5, and Xbox Series SX right now by clicking the link in the description down below. You can check out the new Elderwood expansion on all of those platforms that I just mentioned. And thanks again to Palia and Singularity 6 for sponsoring this video. Let's get back into it. So starting with the exterior, I was looking through for comments for the outside only, and I came across this one. It said a cyberpunk / sci-fi treehouse exterior would go so hard though. Agreed. So cyberpunk is a neon-focused, futuristic aesthetic that usually is combined with some kind of cityscape or urban setting, whereas treehouses are obviously surrounded by nature, greenery, maybe even someone's backyard. And then we have sci-fi, which can tie more so into the cyberpunk aesthetic because that is also a futuristic aesthetic with science and technology elements. So let's tie these three aesthetics together and make one really cool exterior. So for this exterior, I need this to be in a cityscape world. So let's try out San Myshuno today. This is the world that comes with the Sims 4 city living, and we're gonna try building right on this downtown lot right here. This is kind of a hidden gem. Whenever I build here, everyone is like, I had no idea that lot even existed. That's what I'm here for. This lot is right on the water. We have the city in the background. The bridge is over to the right. It's just a really cool lot. And at nighttime, we're gonna get that cityscape vibe that we're going for. Okay, so building a treehouse. Whenever I build a treehouse in The Sims 4, there have been a lot of them on this channel, I like to start off by using a stump. Generally, the ones that I use come with the Sims 4 Outdoor Retreat. So I'll literally just take one of these and then just size it up. Then what I'm gonna do is start building my shell actually beside the tree stump. So I'll have it come out a little bit like this, and then I'm gonna page up and I'll build a room right on top of this stump like that. Now I just have to size it up and make sure it's going to fit right underneath. So basically, as soon as we can hit that second floor with this stump, we're good with the height. I'm gonna turn this also into a medium wall height to match the bottom floor. We can just add on to this a little bit here and also in the back, so we've got more going on. I need multiple rooms in this build. There were a lot of comments, so we're gonna try and fit as many as we can. So we can probably go 3, even 4 stories up today. Maybe we'll add a simple little box up on the 4th floor, but then since we have our stump down below here, we're gonna try and like fake the treehouse. There are obviously many ways you can make a treehouse in The Sims 4, but the easiest way, in my opinion, is to size up a tree right on top like this and have it look like it's coming through from the stump. And this way it looks like that. And that way you don't have to put the tree right through your house. You're not gonna lose any space that way. Everything's gonna be functional. And then what I like to do is just go in and add green greenery all around the outside of the build. I'm gonna bring some of my bump outs out even more so that I can add like a garden patio sort of thing. And this way we could add trees on there. So we're just gonna have trees coming out of the build everywhere. But I'm gonna put that to the side for now because I wanted to play around with some fencing. I've been wanting to use this fence from Eco Lifestyle, so I'm going to add it pretty much just as decor. So I've literally just pulled it out by one tile. I could maybe do a little patio in there, but I just want to cover it up like that. And it's just gonna add some changes to the wall like that. I'm also gonna take this glass fence from Get Famous. I believe this is a debug fence. And maybe I'll bring out a wall like this. So it's gonna be like a little cubby. And then on top, another fence we could use is this one with the lights. This is from Businesses and Hobbies. We can fence in the tree area, and I'm basically just gonna be adding these around on all of these exposed parts. We're not gonna have any roofing today. So far, this is what we've got going on for our shell. We've got the half wall roofing going on up top. I've got fencing all over, tons of patio space. I'm gonna hold off on doing the rest of the rooftop gardens for now so that we can go ahead and do the windows and doors. Actually, and we're gonna do wallpaper now too. So I wanna go with a darker wallpaper just because for like the cyberpunk element of this, it's going to be covered in neon. So we're gonna want all of the lights to pop against the darker wallpaper. So for now, I'm trying this one from Journey to Batu. And then for windows, I think I'm pretty much just going to be sticking with Eco Lifestyle. I love these windows. I use them all the time. These windows are gonna be great too because any lighting we have coming from the inside is just gonna show completely on the outside as well. But then for the door, what do we have for Journey to Batu? We could do a stone arch. I am planning on using a lot of Journey to Batu on the exterior, so I think we'll keep this in mind. I also want to start going in and adding trim, so I'm going to try this one from High School Years along the bottom, and then we can combine that with just a regular base game trim. I'm continuing up with these windows along the patios. And then for doors, I've been loving this one from Businesses and Hobbies. It kind of looks like the windows that I've been using, so I'm just going to use double patio doors. They come in both wall heights, so I can use them on the top floor as well. And then as an alternative option, I'm going to use this one from base game along the sides and kind of just anywhere that I need to change up my window variation. And then for my columns, I'm going to try these ones from Dine Out. I use these in my last build. They have like this little light at the bottom. And then right on the top floor, I'm going to add this glass paneled roofing. These are from Island Living. They're actually meant to be like on your floors so you can see the ocean underneath, but I like to use them up top for a skylight roofing. Okay, so windows and doors are all complete. Now I want to start working on some of those patio gardens. So also from Island Living, we have this grass. I'm going to use this to cover up this ground completely. This is the patio with that Eco Lifestyle fence. I don't think Sims are going to be meant to come out here. I don't even know if I'll make that into a functional patio. Maybe I can stick something in there, but I said I was going to add a tree, and then I think I want to add some bigger plants right at the front. So like this one from Jungle Adventure. Maybe we can bring some flowers in here too. We'll do another patio garden right here. I'm going to start alternating these as well so it doesn't look so much like a pattern, just like rotating them as I place them. We'll grab some of those plants up here too. We'll add another tree up top. We obviously need some grass surrounding our tree. So there we have our gardens, and now I think it's time to light this thing up. We're gonna add all of the neon, and there are a few go-to lights that I like to use when doing a build like this. And the first ones are from Spa Day. These like vertical lines. I feel like they add such a cool look to the outside of these builds, so I'm gonna add them in. I think I can have them going up the side like this. I just love the detail that they add. They bring so much to the table for such an easy object, especially when you then go in and change the colors of the lights to something else. I think I'm gonna go blue and green with the lighting here. Yeah, I think that's gonna match our theme. So it'll be blue lighting all the way around, and then we'll add little bits of green as well. The other lights that I like to use for things like this are the RGB lights from High School Years. They can be a little annoying to change the color of when you add so many of them. Flashback to my Alien Arcade build, there were literally tons. I'm adding these all along the top of my half wall. I also want to start bringing in more of the Journey to Batu, so I think on some of the balconies, I'm going to try and start combining some of the hanging lights from Journey to Batu, and I think I'll also add them down below as well, like hanging from this patio. I think they'll look really cool surrounding the tree stump at the bottom. And then for a neon light, I'm going to size this one up from the Comfy Gamer Kit. You can change the color of this one too, so maybe that can be green, but let's set everything for now to blue and see where we're at. Except for this one, I'm going to change this one to green. Oh yeah, this is coming along. This is going to be so cool, but we need more. Ooh, what about these lights from Journey to Batu? I can put these along the back, and we'll change these ones to green. How do they look at night? Oh, I'm obsessed. Okay, so here we have majority of the lights added. I do still want to go in and start adding adding more of like the neon signs from City Living. Like this one is really cool. I'm gonna stick that on the balcony. There's also this, which might be kind of random, but then with all of the lights in the background and stuff, I feel like it's gonna end up matching the surrounding area anyway. Like it might be cool to add some of these signs from City Living. There's this signage from Strangerville. What else? There's this random music sign. I feel like this is gonna end up giving space station of some kind, like some kind of like alien base, like a headquarters of some kind. But then we're gonna have bedrooms in here too. I guess we'll wait and see what the inside is gonna look like, but for right now, I'm getting some kind of space station. I do want to start working on some of the balcony spaces, so let's do Journey to Batu. Oh, we could use some of the weird plants. I need some kind of seating to just like section off this garden space back there. We could use this stone rug piece. And I also kind of want to clutter this up. Like I want to use some of these boxes. Oh, the sabacc table could be fun up here too. Sabacc is like a card game you can play with Journey to Batu. So you could have your Sims come up here and do like a little rooftop card game moment. Maybe we can put this over to this corner because I really wanted to include a telescope. It's just gonna make sense in this situation. I think we could even fit one more couch up here, just kind of moving things around. Maybe another plant as well. And there we have our first balcony. We've got our telescope, the sabacc gaming table up here, the people watching possibilities on this rooftop. Like that's where they have all the festivals. You've got your telescope. You could go and spy on your neighbors. And then for this balcony, I've been trying to figure out how to use this trellis from Eco Lifestyle. They have a very futuristic feel to them, like the texture on the top. They also sort of have a nature vibe to them. So I'm going to use those going over the balcony right here. But then I actually also wanted to use them to try and make a tree sort of thing. Like, okay, one of my friends is living in Singapore right now, which is apparently one of the coolest places ever. And I had no idea. She was sending me these pictures and my mind was blown. It has shot right up to my list of places that I want to travel. So there's this place in Singapore called the Gardens by the Bay. And it's like this futuristic meets nature garden. There's a bunch of lights, but then there's also a bunch of greenery and it makes these really cool, unique looking structures. This is kind of what I'm going for with this. And then we can maybe raise up this tree from Businesses and Hobbies with the lights in it, or I can maybe make it bigger. I think I should move this one back a little bit. Yeah, I'll put this one back here and then we'll have our own Garden by the Bay inspired landscaping going on. So after everything, this is how our cyberpunk inspired treehouse turned out. Now I just want to build a bunch of tree houses in different aesthetics. Some final things I added were obviously these lights up top. There are lights that you can add from Cottage Living Debug that are literally meant to wrap around a tree. I just use those and size them up. Even if they're not like perfectly aligned with the trunk and everything, they work. I also added some of these along the bottom. Those are from Strangerville. They just add a little bit of an extra light there. Over on this balcony, I added the wormhole generator so your Sims can actually go from here to Sixum, the alien world in The Sims 4. And then I also added a woodworking table. That way Sims can get their handiness skill up here. There are some other little gadgets from like Get to Work hidden on this balcony. And then on the other like front balconies, I just kept them a little bit more casual. We just have seating from Journey to Batu. Up top here, I did the same thing, just with like a couple couches there. This is how it's looking along the back. This is it at nighttime with all the lights, but then also it looks really cool in the daytime. I feel like in the daytime it looks more naturey, more greenery is obvious, and then at night the lights take over. This is so cool. I can't stop looking at it. Okay, let's go into the interior. I have a little bit of a layout going, but I'm not gonna have it set in stone because if I can get one comment to work in one room, then I'm just gonna go for it. But I do know the bottom floor I think is going to be the kitchen. And one idea I really liked for the kitchen was the grocery store inspired kitchen, with the checkout being counters, fridge being literal fridges, adding food racks, and so on. There were also two comments under here. One of them suggested using the new clutter kit with the grocery bag and the scale. But then I also saw this comment which said a 50s diner style kitchen with some retro futurism aspects. I'm thinking we combine those two ideas, a retro futurism 50s inspired grocery store kitchen. It's a lot, but I think we can do it. So here we have the 50s diner aesthetic. This is very recognizable. A lot of these diners still exist honestly with like 50s themes. We're gonna see the checkered flooring. We're gonna see a lot of red, blue, and pink. Grocery stores, I mean, obviously we all know what these look like. Food shelves everywhere, fridges, like they said, food on display. And then retro futurism is just going to tie everything together because you're gonna have the retro aspect with kitchen essentials and color schemes that are similar to like a 50s sort of kitchen. But then you also have the futuristic element, which really went hand in hand with this era. The 50s and 60s especially had a lot of like a space element to the furnishings and the decor. So obviously we're gonna have to do checkered flooring, and for the diner aspect we need these booths from Dine Out. I'm gonna actually grab the one with the table that goes in between just to make things easier for me, and we'll change that swatch to blue. And I feel like our wallpaper we can just do white, like a brick or a tile even. I'm gonna grab a divider, something I can just sort of stick behind here to separate things. This one is from Lovestruck. It actually is perfect because it has that neon light in the middle. And then for the diner aspect, I want to add these. They're like ice cream cones, and I'm gonna leave that part for now. So we've got the diner. Let's spin around and do the grocery. So we do have fridges. Okay, yeah, this one from Get to Work. This is giving grocery store fridge to me, so I'm gonna add a couple of them. But then we also have this one from Spa Day. That one has actual drinks in it. I also like how it has that little like light in there. It's kind of giving futuristic in a way, so maybe we combine these. The Get to Work ones also have some questionable things going on in there, like, yeah, that's literally made for keeping lab chemicals and pharmaceuticals at their cool, respected temperature. Little strange for a grocery store, but again, it can tie into our alien spacey theme. Okay, so we got those. Let's add some shelving. I'm gonna do open shelving right on top of these so we can store some other food items up there. And then I need a shelf where I can add all of my groceries. Something like this, also from Get to Work, or there's this one with the blue that can match our color scheme. Okay, I'm gonna put a couple of these together right in the middle. And then we'll also put some more on the other side. We'll stack all that up with food as well. But then I think businesses and hobbies, yeah, they have this little display case. It's so cute. This can be our bakery. There's little cupcakes on there. I think this would actually work too if you wanted to store your food. Oh, it's made for storing candy. Okay, so we can add candy in there. I'll add one more display. This is gonna be cool because you could actually have things for sale on here. Wait, I guess we could realistically, with businesses and hobbies, make a functional grocery store. I never really thought about that until just now. That could be a fun idea. Okay, but we have our counters. We still need everything that Sims would need for a functional kitchen, so we're gonna have to add a sink. We can add some counters over here too, and this can be where we add an oven. And then for the grocery store idea, we can just like pretend that's for sale. Same as the sink, I guess. I did want to add some cash registers, making sure we still have some room for prep, so those counter spaces right there will work. And then I just added more shelving there for more food that we can store. Ooh, actually these microwaves and some of the appliances from the new restoration kit actually do give off a bit of a retro vibe, so we can add that microwave. And I guess also the weird oven can go here. These are from Debug, so they're fixed up already. Normally when you place these, they need to be renovated, but these ones are good. And then before I add all the food, I'm gonna come in with more lights. So I'm gonna add these. I think I'm gonna change the color of this room to blue, but then we'll go in and add the RGB lights again. So before I add any of the food, I'm just gonna add these going all the way along the tops of the room. I actually also just wanted to bring in these lights from Bowling Stuff. Ooh, wait, also from Bowling Stuff, we can get this clock in here, and we needed some of that kitchen clutter stuff, so I'm also gonna add this caddy. These are the grocery bags that they were talking about. They literally have like vegetables and milk and a bunch of things just shoved in there, so we'll add these. But then also I wanted to add the veggie displays so they can just be along the wall like that. Okay, now we can finally start adding the food, and this is gonna take a while. That's why I left this until the end, because I don't want them to be super separated on the shelf. Those don't look too bad. These are actually clipping to the shelves kind of nicely, but I'd rather them be right beside each other. So if I move those over and then hold Alt on my keyboard, they'll stay at the same height, and I just have to put them together like this. And then I just keep placing them on the shelf like that, and then bringing them over so they're stacked beside each other again. This is gonna be a super tedious way to do it, but I wanna make sure they're all lined up. I wanna stack these completely. We could also add these cereal boxes too. We can change the swatches so there's different types. I wanna add the kitchen scale they were talking about. Maybe we can also add like the tablet on display, some plants here, and then that art can work too, because these can be advertisements for the cereal that we just posted. And then for other grocery options, I was thinking we could try eco lifestyle. Yeah, these shelves definitely aren't going to stack as nicely. I'm gonna have to be moving these over and placing them a lot, but these actually just placed for sale. So these could actually be sold as retail items. So that was a really good idea to use the Get to Work shelves. Some other things I'm gonna try stacking are these from Cottage Living. Maybe I'll just gather everything I'm gonna use. So like these from Dine Out. We could add some of these spices on display. These random cartons of like milk from the Blast from the Past event. So yeah, I'm gonna start stacking these all together just like how I showed you with the other shelves, and then I'll show you when I'm done. All right, so here is our grocery store slash retro futurism 50 50s dining room. This turned out so cool. There's something so satisfying about all that food on the shelf. That's what I meant. I wanted everything to be really close together, like stocked completely. Here's a better look of everything that I added. We've got cereal, some spices from Cottage Living. I added a bunch of the juice from Eco Lifestyle. On this side, I added like dog food. We've got some tea up here, some laundry stuff, party essentials kit stuff. I did the same thing over on this side near the cash. I got the grocery bags right by the cash. There's a garbage over to this side too. And then I left this open so Sims could actually put their food storage in there. I really want to see all of this stuff for sale. I feel like that looks so cool. And then at nighttime, here it is with more of the neon and everything all lit up. This would be so weird to have like regularly in your house. So our space station idea is definitely coming through. This can be like a home base before they go to space, or maybe it's like a space hotel. I don't know yet, but let's move on to the next room. So scrolling through the comments again, this time I was looking for a living room and I found this comment that said a Frutiger Aero living room. No, I don't know what this would mean. Me neither, but I'd be excited to find out. So this is the Frutiger Aero aesthetic. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I've never heard it said out loud. It's like a retro Y2K sort of aesthetic. I feel like this is often associated with like the internet and like Windows, particularly at that time. It's got a glossy look, but then there's also a nature element to it. It's abstract and reflective, but then there's a lot of fish going on as well. Definitely gonna have to have fish going on. Definitely gonna have to have bubbles and like computers, a little bit of everything. This is gonna be a challenge, but I think we can try it. So my first thought was this flooring from City Living. It's reflective. It has that like blue color that we were looking for, and it also comes in green if we have to change it. And then for the wallpaper, I also want to keep it with blue, I think, and we can do green and white for the furniture. Like this is a tile, technically, potentially a pool tile, but like it could work, and it works with the color scheme in the back and on the outside. For furniture, I was thinking this could work. Something rounded. This is from Growing Together, and they also have rounded chairs like that, but the other part of me is saying inflatable neon furniture. Can we get away with both? I don't think so, just for spacing, but what if we tried these? These are little poofs from Movie Hangout. We're gonna need some kind of rug. I'm thinking about this one from Seasons, but I wanted to leave a space for computers, so let's actually move this over near the entry. The weird thing about this one is it kind of looks futuristic, but it's with older technology, like the Y2K sort of era, so I think we have to use one of these old computers. Maybe we can have ours a little more high-tech, like something that's still a little older looking, like this one, but I don't want to be sending these Sims to space on like the lowest end computer we can have in the Sims. Maybe I do, actually. Depends on the day. We need to add an aquarium. That could potentially be what divides the room, and we're for sure adding bubbles. So I like to use them from Get Together. They're under the pool category, and I like to use this bubbles crack. You literally just take this and put it underneath your furniture. I've done this so many times with like my mermaid builds, but then in live mode, you get the bubbles that pop up. They're gonna be going through in the room. Luckily, the steam from those will just be going up into the rooftop garden. We need chairs, and there's a perfect chair that I'm thinking of. I think it's from Get to Work. Yeah, this one, it's shiny. This is the perfect chair for this aesthetic. I just hope we've got enough room. I'm just gonna squeeze these even more together. So we're actually sort of ending up with this funky desk situation. I've rearranged again so I can add this table. This is a weird table from My First Pet stuff, but it literally has fish in there. And in live mode, they swim around. It's basically an aquarium table. I'm raising these orb lights on top of my aquarium, and we need more nature. I need pictures, literally of pictures like this from base game. We can use this one as well. I wanted to add the old phones from the Blast from the Past event. We'll just stick this one on the wall. And then I also want more nature, so I'm gonna start adding these plants. These are from Love Struck. We can do hanging plants here. There's also this huge light. This comes from Growing Together. We can add some headphones here. This sculpture, wait, this sculpture kind of reminds me, especially with the green, of the MSN logo. I think I'll add one of these like CD players on the coffee table. Oh, and a jukebox. I meant to put a jukebox actually in my dining room, so I'm just gonna rearrange some stuff in there. Oh, and the butterfly lights. Wait, this is a really fun and weird aesthetic. This is a good idea. Okay, so this is the Frutiger Aero inspired living room. Definitely very out there, very odd, but I feel like it kind of works. We got the bubbles going, all of the older technology. I also added those egg chairs over there, and then on the wall near the stairs I added those those butterfly lights. Those are from the kids' room stuff pack. And actually, I guess as a final thing, we could use these sheer curtains. These are from high school years. Okay, there we go. Literally the weirdest room ever, but looking at that on the bottom floor, that totally matches the outside. Okay, moving on from here, let's go upstairs. And then coming back to the comments, I found this one which said a Wild West themed room, but with a space/cyberpunk aesthetic. It would be like the 1890s, but with a futuristic twist. Batu and Horse Ranch would be amazing for this. Perhaps you can even do a saloon/bar area with this idea. This is actually such a cool one. There were a lot of space themes in these comments. I don't know what was going on, but it was kind of interesting because it seemed like a lot of people were on the same page. I feel like there is some retro futurism happening in this aesthetic as well. So let's take this and turn it into a bar. So on the second floor now, I think I'm gonna do it in this room. And I want to do it here because we have room for a bar back. So I'm gonna add this one. This is from Horse Ranch, like I said. We'll use wood flooring from Horse Ranch combined with this metal wallpaper from Strangerville. So we've got the bar back, but we need the bar. I was thinking about this one from Get Famous. We do have doors over to the left there, so I think I might shift everything over slightly. And then Journey to Batu does have some bar stools, so we could add these. Undecided if I'm gonna keep that bar yet, but I did want to add the UFO light. I think I'll add that maybe over my bar or even like kind of back here. We're gonna change the lighting on that. And then we are definitely using the Touch of Starlight item. I think I might put that maybe along this entire thing. Yeah, I'm gonna add that over here on the sides as well. Oh, and then we could use the starlights from Movie Hangout. I'm gonna again bring this in from Journey to Batu. I really wish we could center this. I mean, one of the doors over here will be functional, so if we cover that one a little bit, it's fine. But I also need Sims to be able to get back to the bar. So that is just gonna have to be shifted a tiny bit. We're also gonna bring some more of the Journey to Batu lights. I love decorating with these from the ceiling. Let me see, can you get behind that bar? Oh yes, he can. He can barely squeeze past there, but perfect. Okay, so there's the bar area so far. Let's switch around. I wanted to add this shelving from Journey to Batu, but then we can add this from Horse Ranch. We have some wine storage we can add, maybe with a tapestry. Oh, these could look cool on the sides too. I'm gonna add a couple of those. For our table, I'm gonna use this one. This is not the sabacc table from upstairs. It's just a regular table, and we can add these chairs. I think in the comfy gamer kit, this UFO light has like a cow or a horse being taken up. Okay, yeah, it's a cow. We're gonna use this. We can add this from Journey to Batu. There's also some of these like flags we can use as curtains. Ooh, this star mirror. And then we can even add some of the weird alien clutter from base game, like literal aliens just chilling in here. We're gonna combine that with some more like horsey things. Oh, and the moonshine bottles. This has to be the drink of choice. All right, we've got a spacey Western bar happening upstairs. This is turning out to be such a fun build. It's nice too that this is connected onto the balcony, so there's more seating outside. I can even bring one of these tables out and have even more options for seating. This is what it's looking like over to this side. It's giving spacey, but still retro, and obviously we've got all of the Horse Ranch stuff, so we've got the Western aesthetic. A very interesting place we've got going on, but let's move on to the next room. So I came across this comment, which said, a room where in the middle is a pedestal like in a museum with glass around it, but there a cupcake machine. No questions asked. It says we can now make cupcakes normally, but its legacy will be remembered. Okay, so this is the cupcake machine. She's very obnoxious, but I do like the idea of it being in a museum on display because it's like a legacy. So like, what if this is actually a build that's in the future? And in this room, we can add a bunch of older Sims items on display. So I'm adding the glass around it, just like they said. They're the same windows that I used from Eco Lifestyle. And then maybe to keep with the theme, we can use like space flooring in there. I'll use the same flooring from the bar. I liked the starlights in the other room, so I'm adding these in here too. And then I used a dark blue wallpaper on the surrounding hallway. I love how we don't even have bedrooms yet, but we have this. Okay, but this could be another seating area. I'll add a couch. I'll add these chairs that I was going to use. Okay, now we just need some more decor. We could actually add windows here. This is that like awkward space that I basically just added this fencing for decor. I guess we could bring the garden in here, we could add the bubbles crack there so that in live mode, it's gonna look like they're kind of underwater. Like we'll see the bubbles coming up from the windows. And then I want to make another glass case. And then in there, what is another legacy item that we used to use in The Sims, but we don't anymore? Or even just something that's like iconic from the past. I mean, not really what I was thinking, but we could add this statue. Unlocked at level 9 of the astronaut career. It makes sense for this. So I just stuck that in there, and then maybe we could surround it with, I don't know, some of these stolen items. Or there's this ice llama we could add in. Like we could add in 2 of them. They kind of look like ghosts. I know there's something cooler to go in there, but for now I'm just gonna add those 3 statues. I'm gonna bring in some more greenery over here, and again we're accidentally just ending up with that Frutiger Aero aesthetic up here too. This room is so weird. I'm gonna replace this door though with this one, so if Sims did want to use the cupcake machine, they technically still could. And all right, here is our weird museum hallway slash seating area, cupcake machine room. Definitely the most chaotic room that we have so far, which was to be expected. There had to be at least one. Okay, going upstairs, this is the 3rd floor. We need to do a bathroom, so I found this comment which says a waterfall bathroom or bedroom where it looks like it's underwater and underwater exterior. So we can't do a full underwater exterior obviously, but we technically just added the bubbles and literally just said that it looked like it was underwater. So I'm gonna add these waterfalls. These are from City Living. I feel like I can get away with adding these and making it look like futuristic or high tech a little bit so it matches our theme. And they wanted underwater decor, so we're gonna have to find some blue tile again, maybe this, and then we'll get some tile on the wall too. Okay, let's add a bathtub. We could try using this one from Eco Lifestyle. I'm gonna add this shower from Spa Day, and then I guess we'll use the matching sink and toilet from Eco Lifestyle. I'll use this mirror from the Sleek bathroom kit, and then I think I've done this before where you add a disco ball and then the floor sort of looks like it's underwater, not quite, but it does look cool with those waterfalls so far. And then for the underwater look, I think I might add some of the island living debug stuff. Like we could put that up above. I have this awkward space above the waterfalls. We could have some of these debug plants hanging from the waterfalls too. We could also add a table here. Oh, we could add some of the axolotls on this table. They're so cute, look at them. And I mean, it definitely has a little bit of an underwater feel to it. We've got the waterfalls, so we covered that aspect. We have the underwater decor. This is so out there. I don't know what's happening with the axolotls. I kind of like that there are just randomly animals like scattered in here, fish specifically. But okay, let's move on from this one. I think we're gonna do 2 bedrooms. So this comment said a weirdly shaped tower with the very top room of the tower being something unusual. I'm saving the top room for something else, so we're not gonna do the tower part. But then it says a neon rave room, an alien listening post, but super girly pop vibes. That's the part I think we can make happen. And then they finish it off with whatever it is, make it kind of wild. Done. Okay, so let's do this bedroom over here. The first part we're gonna bring into this is the listening device. I'm gonna delete the chair. We're gonna use a different one. But then they said rave room, so like we need the DJ booth. So I was thinking we could somehow put these 2 together, or we even use this one because it's like really space themed, and it has to be girly pop, which this is exactly what I think of when I think of girly pop, just like pink, Y2K maybe a little bit, makeup, pop music. We need to have this incorporated somehow. So here's what I'm thinking. We're gonna split the room, so half of this is going to be the rave room, and then we also need neon in here, so I wanted to incorporate maybe this. This is a sign from the Party Essentials kit. We can maybe add this over the door. Obviously we'll use the strip lights. We also need the disco ball. Now we have 2 on this floor. Then we can use some of the Journey to Batu furniture that we've been using. Like I'll add this couch. This is a base game dance floor from the Blast from the Past event. And we could also use some of the inflatables also from that event. On this side, I'm adding the base game bottle rack. And then on this side, we have the listening device, but it's gonna be girly pop with the heart chair. Then on this side, I'm gonna add the heart bed. We need to bring back this base theme at least a little bit. So I'm gonna start to add some Strangerville items. I can use this lava lamp by my bed. We'll add this mirror with like a super small dresser like this. But then on there, we'll add like the ray gun. We can add one of these space posters. And then I'll just add some makeup here too. And then I guess this is our girly pop listening alien room meets neon rave room. Honestly, it looks like a fun time. They can host parties in here. They can again spy on the rest of the city. This is definitely the person who uses like the telescope upstairs. It's giving like teen room a little bit. This could be like a teen daughter room. We still have 2 more bedrooms to go. This person said it would be cool to see a Solarpunk inspired room. You often see Cyberpunk but rarely Solarpunk. So this is the Solarpunk aesthetic. It's again very futuristic, but it's like a future where plants kind of take over. Like there are definitely technology vibes here, but green technology. So it's like heavy on the nature and greenery combined with the tech futuristic vibe. Okay, so we don't actually have the most room in this bedroom, but my first thought was metal flooring, maybe even this one from base game, combined with maybe some metal wallpaper. I want to first see if we can even fit a double bed. We do have a door here, so we have to be careful of that. I can't put it in the back here. Actually, I could if we turned that into a garden or something back there. So maybe we add grass behind and we'll add some dirt back there. We can add some bamboo along the walls and maybe we add this tree behind. This is from Eco Lifestyle. I feel like you can barely even see it. For my end table, I'm going to use this block from Journey to Batu. Oh, we should actually use a few of these plants from that pack. We need the tech elements. So I'm going to use the same table that I had downstairs, but we'll use this Journey to Batu chair. We'll grab a super fancy computer, but then we'll add these on the wall again. I want to use some of the Journey to Batu vents on the wall, and some of this stuff could be cool too, but I think I'm going to size up these plants from Lovestruck and put them inside these rings that I added from Journey to Batu. For a dresser, we're going to use these trunks, and I'm trying not to block this walkway with any items here, so I'm just going to add some extra lighting, and there we go. We have a Solarpunk bedroom. This one matches more so for the outside. Honestly, the only room that hasn't really matched, which is kind of funny, is like the Girlypop one. For some reason, I get the vibe that it's like an adopted alien family that lives here or something, or even maybe just like workers who live together, like a bunch of alien astronauts or something here on a research mission. I have no idea. Let me know in the comments who you think is living here, but this is our second last bedroom. We have one more to go, and this is the final comment I saved for the top floor. It says maybe a room near the top where it's astronaut themed. You could do a skylight or a rocket or something if you want, smiley face. So I saw this one earlier and I immediately thought it would work here because we have that skylight up on the top floor there, and basically this entire thing is astronaut themed. So I'm thinking we use Crystal Creations wallpaper combined with this one from Fitness Stuff. I'm gonna use this new bed in blue from Businesses and Hobbies, and then I think I'm just gonna combine elements from the other rooms that we liked, like the starlight. We can use the touch of starlight item in here. We definitely need a desk with one of these alien computers, and then I wanted to add in some shelving that has like space themed things on display. So there's tons of it from Journey to Batu. Like we've got that helmet. We can add some of these models here. We could even add in some of the droids. We also need a bookshelf. We have not had one in here, so I'm gonna add one right there. We'll also add a mirror. We'll do dresser on this side. We could also add the moon mirror, the Journey to Batu couch. I think we're at the Journey to Batu cap for the year after this one. So there we have our astronaut themed bedroom. I added this streaming drone on top of the droid. I feel like it kind of looks like an astronaut helmet on top of there. This is definitely giving the owner of this weird treehouse situation that we have going on here. Let me know which room was your favorite. I am always trying to do builds like this where I can get you guys to participate. So make sure if you guys like the video, you subscribe so you can stay up to date with all of the community posts. You never know when I'm gonna ask you guys to just shout out ideas for me. Look at it from the outside. I love it. If you guys like the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.